How's it going? Welcome to this episode of Fucking About in the Shed with Matt. Today I'm going to have a little bit of a chat about sharpening. I hate it. If you're like me, it is an annoying necessity. I will confess that I'm not awesome at it. I'm probably barely even good. But I've got chisels. Those things get blunt. They get covered in crap. Chipped to shit house. Dirty, filthy. Poor workman blames his tools, but to be honest, a tool like that's not much good to you. Irwin sends you a set of bits and pieces to do it yourself manually. Not really my thing. So I invested in this thing here. It's not an expensive bit of kit. A tool, the little jig, which we'll have a look at in a second, bunch of belts. These things are like $1 each, maybe $1.50. Fair bit of change out of $200 for all of this. And you can get good, repeatable, quick results. And if you're a bit average and you don't like doing it, this is a way to have pretty good, pretty sharp gear. And this jig will also do your kitchen knives and a few other bits and pieces as well, garden tools, whatever you want. It's a pretty versatile setup without spending heaps of money. Right, have a look at the jig. Obviously there's a plate here and adjustments here. This jig on Amazon, I think, or eBay, or one of those, 20 or 30 bucks. Not expensive. The grinder itself, there's heaps of them around. They are 100 bucks, 150 bucks. It's got a pencil sharpener on the side as well. You can probably do other things, but that's what I use it for. So you can see we've got a plate here. This is adjustable. We've got the backing board here, and there's a spring-loaded clip in here. You can't really see it, but there's a sharp little thing here. That all lines up. On the back, 2 screws. You undo the screws and this moves. Now for a chisel, I literally do this. I get that up there, I get that to sit flat, and you can feel it when it sits about right. So now when we come up there, slide that up gently, and there you go. Now if you're looking at this and you're going, hang on a minute, that belt goes down. Should you be sharpening into the edge? I had that same query. And I wasn't certain, but it works. Right. So what I've done is I've tried to set this up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. We've got some water in the background here. Obviously, stuff warms up. You're going to want to cool it down as you go. So let's see how easy this is. You can see there, we've already got a bit of a improvement. Obviously I abuse my tools and the tip's still shagged, but we'll keep going. There we go. Again, step forward, still not great, but not taking very long to get nice flat, so that's nice and even. Now see, that's not too bad. It's not perfect, but like we're 30-40 seconds in of real work. Now the back, you can see here, there's shit all over it. And I've got my Stanley blade, and we just give that a bit of a... Probably be better with a newer blade. Now, that belt is 400 grit, that's where I've started. I would now go through all of my chisels, because they're all the same angle, and 400 the lot, and then 6, 8, 1000 and 1600. And they'll come up pretty good. Start to see that top edge change, particularly on the right hand side at the moment. The left hand side needs a bit more work. Now you can see across this edge here how the light plays different on the right than the left. We're getting pretty close to what we want here. A bit more work to do there. Now this is taking a little bit longer than perhaps it would normally because I'm using a 400 belt. Usually I'd use a 240 to do that amount of shaping, but you can see there, nice smooth angle. I'll get that to play in the light for you. Still a couple little bits there you can see that need some attention, and if you did it more often, it doesn't take very long at all. We are now up to 1600. This is quite a fine thing, obviously. Going to do the final sort of hone. Put a bit of a step in it. and we'll see how they look. It took me about 40 minutes to do all 6 chisels from their rubbish condition to pretty good. Are they perfect? No. My workshop, maybe I could do with having perfect chisels, but they seem to do just fine, and I lack the patience to do it properly, I suppose. So if you're a bit like me and you're a bit lazy and you want something done, near enough is good enough, small investment, this is a good tool. As far as kitchen knives go, well, you can do them too, and you don't have to pay someone else to do that. Reasonably versatile tool. Now, knives are a little bit different to chisels. Depending on where the knife's from will depend on what angle it is. Most of your knives, particularly Western knives, are going to be around 20 degrees. Japanese knives are going to be 15. Cleavers like this are going to be around 25 to 30. These knives here, these are not great knives. They'll be better if they're sharp. Blunt, we'll get that tidy. This one is not sharpened on this edge, but is sharpened on this edge. That is a feature of some Japanese brands. Right, so we're on the last one. We've gone through the various grits, I suppose. This is 1600. Do the final pass. They are significantly better than they were when I got my hands on them. They will, as you can see, it'll take a little piece of my fingernail. Now, are they sharp? Well, that's not too bad. It's okay. That one I was a bit worried about because it's the single side. Still come up pretty good. I think they'll do. Perhaps you're one of the weirdos who like sharpening, and that's okay. And you can have a better system than this, and you'll probably do a much better job, and to be honest, we're all super happy for you. For me, I don't like sharpening. It's a necessary evil. This allows me to do an okay to maybe even good job pretty quickly. 10 knives, about 40-45 minutes. Including mucking around trying to shoot a little bit for you to watch me and see how it's done. Similar sort of time frame, maybe even a bit less to do the chisels. And all of the things that I did today were pretty shag. This is good value. I'm not saying you should buy one. I don't benefit if you do. But that little jig and the tool, it's not a lot of money. Anyway, this is more about just showing you what I do. It ain't perfect. It's not a lesson in how to sharpen by any means. I hope it's been helpful. Maybe if you're thinking, oh, I want a sharpener, this isn't going to cost you a lot to figure it out. You can spend a shitload more money on something that is slower and not as good, and you don't have to learn a heap. This is pretty basic. Either way, thanks for watching. If you've come this far, chuck me a like and a subscribe. Check out some other videos. They're possibly more interesting. I'll let you figure that out for yourself. Have yourself a great one.